Hey, this is Matt, co-founder of Universal CPA Review. I'm here with Ryan. He just got his FAR score back. He scored a 94, a little bit of a drop down from the reg score he got back about a month ago, which was a 99. But Ryan, you should still be very proud of the FAR score. A 94 is tremendous. So tell us a little bit about how FAR was different than reg and what you did differently to prepare this time around.
Right. So just full disclosure, I mean, reg, that was freshest for me, right? I was coming out, and that's why I started with it. Is that was the freshest material that I was covering coming out of college courses. So came into FAR, bit of a review covering stuff I learned year prior, so on. I think for me, it was reg was amazing, and the material that it covered, I was just amazed that wow, this is so much. But then FAR, just above and beyond that,
Yeah.
right? I think it's 200 different topics, and they are all different topics, right? I mean, of course, it's financial accounting, it's all related, but still, it's just a lot of different nuanced things that you have to learn. So, different approach for me was I recognized right off the bat, reg, I kind of did a speed review through. Yeah, I recognized a lot of it, but FAR had to stop and pause on a lot of different concepts that, frankly, not only had I not reviewed in a long time, but maybe not even ever learned, like nonprofit accounting or the governmental accounting, more of the nuanced stuff, right? So having to pause more and really dive in and taking the time to go through the videos, do the full learning process videos, study guide, working through the MCQs.
Yeah, I think FAR so much is just the retention of that information. And I think you spent 2 or 3 weeks studying. So a little bit
Yeah,
of a
3 weeks.
condensed timeline compared to some other candidates. But did you find yourself doing any sort of cumulative reviews, either daily, every other day, just to sort of build up that information to sort of retain all these 200 topics, as you mentioned?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Having to be more disciplined, kind of what you've talked about in other videos, right? Where you have to learn it that day, and then the next day, make sure you're working those MCQs to really get it down into the brain. So it's not just, oh yeah, I've got it, but you can
Yeah,
actually work through
absolutely.
the questions. Yeah.
And one of the things we talked about last time, and it sounds like you carried forward this mentality of thinking a little bit beyond of what exactly the question specifically asking for, and thinking about what's the bigger picture. Can I explain this to myself? Did you find yourself doing that in reg as well, or sorry, FAR as well?
Yeah, definitely. FAR, not only thinking, okay, can I explain it, but also can I think about it in a journal entry, right?
Yep.
So it's not just, oh yeah, I can conceptually picture and oh, I can memorize this formula. But if I mean, journal entries, they came out with it to make our lives as accountants easier. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a power play to think through the journal entries. And I think Universal CPA, definitely the videos help you think through the journal entries on these different concepts. Yeah.
Yeah, and journal entries is something I think you can't memorize. I remember I had some college friends that tried to memorize journal entries, just basic debits and credits to cash, accounts receivable. And I think the reality is if you can think about the journal entry more intuitively, and what's the impact to the income statement side and what's the impact to the balance sheet side, you'll start to understand statement of cash flows, cash versus accrual better. And the journal entry is also your ultimate fact check. So many of these, you can check your answer if you can come up with a journal entry. If it doesn't balance, there's probably something missing. So it's great that you're focused on that, and something I definitely encourage everybody else to focus on as well.
Yeah.
When it
Just to
yeah.
add on to that, I will just say, going through, having that mentality of, okay, FAR is great because you can check yourself. You're doing a statement of cash flows or whatever. You can make sure that everything balances, and then go forward with confidence.
So with FAR, like, there's obviously a lot of topics, and it's not that it's there's a bunch of easy ones and there's a few hard ones. I think when we talk to other students, a lot of them are hard, and there's no rhyme or reason as to which ones students find hard versus easy. So for these difficult topics, being on such a time crunch, how did you decide, hey, this is good enough, I know what I need to know, versus I need to spend more time?
Looking back, I think this may have been my Achilles heel, is especially with government accounting, having really not learned much of it at all. I was so overwhelmed. I gotta master this before I go into the test, instead of just saying, okay, this probably won't be that much of the test.
Mhm.
So focus on what you've learned before or what you're getting easily, right? And don't focus on just spinning those wheels, trying to master it, and in the end, kind of having a mediocre effort here and a mediocre effort here. So I think just conscientiously going through and looking at the results from the MCQs,
Mhm.
the challenges, right? And saying, okay, if I have time, wait till the end, cover that. If
Yeah.
not, that's okay. It's only 10% of the test or whatever.
Yeah, I think so much of like, again, if you can get to the point of where you can explain it to yourself, and that's from, watching the videos in the Universal course, that can help you get to that point much quicker without
True.
spending, time doing 50 more multiple choice questions. Because I think sometimes there's this myth that quantity of questions is more important than the quality. But it sounds like, from watching those videos, you were able to sort of pick out what you knew well and what you need to know based on what's being asked, and maybe sometimes you didn't fully understand the big conceptual picture, but
Mhm.
for certain concepts that's just going to have to be something you can live with, right?
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, we're trying to get a passing score here, right? And move on with our life.
Yeah, so any last minute tips, advice for other candidates that are either starting or in the middle of FAR?
Okay, well, again, it's known as a beast, as I talked about in the intro video on Universal. It's known as a beast. So take time, self care. You can get through this. Channel your power, channel your higher power, and plow through. Definitely take the time to look at your 200 topics, see how they're interrelated, think through the journal entries,
Mhm.
and above all, just keep that positive attitude because you will get through it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Ryan. Just we're keeping track here. You got a 99 on reg, 94 on FAR. Odd scores expected at the next release, and he's studying for BEC now. So we are on the Elijah Watts sales watch here, and we'll continue to provide some updates here. But we're pulling for you, and hopefully everybody else is finding these videos helpful. I mean, everybody has to come up with their own study journey. So Ryan's got his own, but there's certainly some things that you can pull from his and add to your own study plan and tips, and you'll get there one day. So keep working hard. Thanks again, Ryan.
Great. Thanks, Matt.